Some nights test more than courage. They force choices, leaving you to weigh the aftermath. Devastating Loss by Stephen Meehan. Tarian lifted his head from the desk as the alarm blared. With a groan, he turned toward the noise. When he couldn't locate the source of the racket, he started blinking the sleep away and stumbled toward the window. He leaned on the sill and saw the ordnance storehouse lights flashing across the field. As his gaze tracked the beams, the scene made sense. Tarian spun and bolted from his quarters. When he burst out of the building, Tarian dashed toward the depot. As he crossed the courtyard, a hand yanked him to a stop. Tarian reached back, grabbed the stranger, and twisted his arm behind his back.
"What are you doing?"
"Nothing,"
Lloyd said with a whimper, his face paling. He raised his free hand in surrender.
"However, you rushing headlong into an unknown raid isn't one of your better ideas."
As Tarian relaxed his grip, he spun towards the armory as his hand flew to his side. He reached for his sidearm, but his fingers brushed an empty belt. A curse flew from his mouth as he whirled toward Lloyd.
"Do you have a spare gun?"
"You're lucky you ran into me first."
Lloyd drew a handgun and thrust it toward Tarian.
"Next time the alarm blares, you might remember to secure your sidearm before you try to take on a mystery unarmed."
"That's enough,"
Tarian said as he took the weapon. After a brief check, he aimed the small firearm at the depot and inched forward.
"You shouldn't be the first to enter,"
Lloyd said, pulling Tarian's shoulder. With a few long strides, Lloyd pulled ahead of Tarian and placed an ear against the depot's door.
"Can you hear anything over the siren?"
Tarian asked, tapping the gun's barrel against the wooden frame. The quartermaster rubbed his brow and murmured something under his breath. Lloyd shook his head and shoved Tarian back.
"It's hard to hear anything with your tapping. Why don't you check the perimeter?"
With a curt nod, Tarian circled the depot and hurried back to the quartermaster. He tapped the man's shoulder.
"Looks clear."
"That's counterproductive."
Tarian spun as a stream of soldiers poured onto the field. He tapped the wall and inched closer to the hunched quartermaster. As he neared, the door burst open, sending Lloyd flying backward. The depot's doorknob clutched in his hand. The blast from inside the depot stole Tarian's breath, but he raised his weapon, covering the entrance. A pair of creatures walked through the broken doorway, each laden with stolen munitions. Tarian pulled his finger off the trigger as he lifted the barrel, aiming between one creature's eyes.
"Stop, or I'll shoot."
The pale monsters exchanged snarls, baring wicked fangs, before turning on Tarian. As Tarian's finger shifted to his trigger, the monsters leapt over his head and raced away from the depot. Cursing, Tarian fired after the fleeing monsters. Between shots, Lloyd slapped his hand, driving the barrel down, sending the lance of light into the ground. While the beings darted into the courtyard, Tarian spun to face Lloyd.
"They're escaping with some of our ordnance."
Lloyd shook his head and dashed after the creatures.
"And if your shot were to hit that unstable ordnance, we'd end up in a crater."
Tarian lifted the gun and growled at the useless hunk of metal.
"How are we going to stop those things from escaping with our munitions?"
Lloyd heaved a sigh, taking a slight step forward.
"There's only one way. We can catch them."
"Fine, we'll tackle some shapeshifters."
Tarian followed, his breathing already ragged.
"That's fantastic."
Lloyd pelted off toward the farther monster.
"Well, if you had one of those dart guns I created, you could have used it."
Tarian shook his head and mirrored Lloyd's move and tackled the other shadowy figure, forcing it to drop the stolen ordnance. As the two bodies fell, the creature's body began writhing as it changed shape. In a moment, Tarian attempted to wrangle a wolf. Tarian pistol-whipped the being's nose. As the wolf thing whimpered, Tarian stumbled back from the shifter. The second being howled and raked its claws across Lloyd's abdomen.
"No!"
Tarian wailed as he fired 2 quick shots into his beast. Lloyd gripped his midsection, and when he pulled his hand away, blood dripped from his fingers. He dropped to his knees, muttering,
"That's not good."
Tarian's shapeshifter collapsed with a pair of holes in its skull. The remaining creature roared and whirled to glare at Tarian. With each step, the monster grew. As its forearm morphed into a claw, darts embedded in the shifter's back. Another howl ripped through the night sky. It crouched, muscles rippling. Between heartbeats, a set of wings erupted from its back as it leapt toward the stars. As the thing rose, a tail exploded from its hindquarters, and Keldon cried out,
"It's a dragon."
"Medic!"
Tarian rushed to Lloyd's side and lifted the man's head.
"Hold on, stay with us."
Keldon slid next to the men and grabbed Lloyd's legs.
"Lift him up and let's get moving."
Tarian hooked his arms under Lloyd's and started fleeing toward the medical hut.
"Did you see how large the creature became?"
"Never mind that.
Keldon said.
We have to discover how those monsters infiltrated the compound."
Tarian rubbed his temple, staring into the stars.
We watched it transform into a dragon.
Keldon urged Tarian to hurry as they drew closer to the doctor's quarters. The doctor stepped out and pressed 2 fingers to Lloyd's neck.
It's too late. He's already dead.
Tarian fell and scrambled to keep his hold on Lloyd. Keldon lowered his half of the body and laid a hand on his friend's shoulder.
I need you to do something for me.
Tarian muttered.
What do you require?
Find out exactly what that shifter stole.
I'll get you the details.
Keldon said, kicking a rock aside.
But based on what I saw, I guess it stole about 1/4 of our stock.
With that, our story concludes. I hope you've enjoyed today's reprieve from your daily grind. If you like the vibe, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because every bit helps get this channel spread to those who require a momentary chance to unwind. I'll see you for the next tale, my friends.
Thanks for reaching the end of the video. But why not keep the rhythm going? Pick one of the videos on screen and settle in for another moment of escape. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and tap the bell to get notified when new tales drop.